Every week you wait in September is a harvest you won't get. And one line from a Tennessee Extension bulletin proves it. Take your seed packet's days to maturity and add 10 because fall days are cooler and shorter. A 50-day crop is a 60-day crop right now. What nobody told me for my first 10 seasons was that the bed I was cleaning up in September was the best bed I owned all year. Frost makes these 5 crops sweeter. The bugs are quitting, and every one fits that math. I'll name the exact varieties at the end. This whole month runs on one date, your average first frost, so find yours before you buy a single packet. Then the arithmetic. Iowa State's Fall Planting Guide says it in one sentence. Work backward from the average first frost to find the sowing date. Tennessee adds the 10 days. So, days to maturity plus 10 counted back from the frost date, and that's your last planting day for that crop. Days to maturity plus 10. Count it back from first frost. And here's the part that makes September a planting month instead of a cleanup month. Frost doesn't end the season for these crops. Tennessee's bulletin says vegetables able to withstand frost can mature at least 2 weeks after the first expected frost. And Iowa State breaks it into tiers. Semi-hardy handles the upper 20s. Hardy survives the mid to low 20s. Clemson's Home and Garden Center just says it plain. Greens are better after a frost. So I live in the Mid-South, but it genuinely does not matter where you live. For every crop, I'll give you 2 versions, the shorter, cooler summer version and the longer, hotter summer version. And the frost clock does the rest. Then I made the one decision that changed how I garden. I stopped planting by month and started planting by that math. Let me show you the 5 that always make the cut. Number 1 is radishes, and I put them first because they're the fastest thing you will grow this year and the safest bet if you're reading this late. Tennessee lists them at 25 to 30 days to first harvest. 25 to 30. Add the 10 and you're still under 6 weeks. Iowa's number is 25 to 40, planted mid-August to mid-September, and Tennessee's window runs August 1st to September 15th. Varieties straight off that Tennessee table: Cherry Belle, White Icicle, Champion. Sow them an inch or 2 apart and thin them because a radish that touches its neighbor makes leaves and no root. Here's the confession. For years, my fall radishes came up all top and no bottom, and I blamed the seed. It was the spacing and the heat, and it was me. Once I started sowing them thin in a spot that got afternoon shade in early September, they came up round. Shorter, cooler summers, if you're in the Iowa kind of climate with frost at the end of September or early October, radishes go in this week and again 10 days later. That's it. Longer, hotter summers, wait until the second half of September, sow every 10 days into October, and stop when the frost clock says stop. Now, I could have stopped at radishes and called it a fall garden. I didn't because number 2 is the crop I actually plant the most of. Spinach is the crop September was made for, and it is the one I see people give up on because they tried it in May. Spring spinach bolts the second it warms up. Fall spinach does the opposite. It grows into cooler, shorter days and it doesn't quit. Tennessee has it at 40 to 50 days, planted September 10th to the 20th, 3 to 4 inches apart. Iowa's guide runs it a little slower, 45 to 60 days, sown mid-August to early September because their frost comes early. Varieties, again off the Tennessee table: Bloomsdale Longstanding, Tyee, Melody. Bloomsdale is the old crinkled one, and it's the one I'd plant if I could only plant one. The trick nobody puts on the packet? Spinach seed hates warm soil. If your soil is still hot in early September, soak the seed overnight, sow it in the evening, and water it in cool. I lost 2 whole sowings one year to 80-degree soil before I figured that out. And no, I'm not proud of it. Shorter, cooler summers? You are on the clock. Spinach goes in now, this week, and you can push a second sowing under a row cover. Longer, hotter summers. That September 10th to 20th window is yours. And you can keep sowing into early October and eat spinach through winter under a light cover. And this is where the frost clock pays you back. Spinach is a hardy crop on Iowa's list, mid to low 20s. So it doesn't stop at the frost line, it runs past it. Number 3 is leaf lettuce, and I mean leaf, not head. Heads take too long and they're fussy. Leaf lettuce is a cut-and-come-again crop, and it fits the clock. Tennessee lists leaf lettuce at 40 to 50 days, 6 inches apart, with a planting window that runs July 1st all the way to September 15th. Iowa calls it 45 to 60 and wants it in by early September. Varieties: black-seeded Simpson, red sales, salad bowl, oak leaf. Black-seeded Simpson is the one your grandmother grew, and it is still the fastest. Cut the outside leaves, leave the middle, and it keeps coming. That's not a typo. One sowing carries you for weeks. Now, the honest part. Lettuce is only semi-hardy on Iowa's tiers, upper 20s. So unlike spinach, it does not laugh at a hard freeze. Shorter, cooler summers, get it in this week and plan on a row cover for the last stretch. Longer, hotter summers, you've got until mid-September to sow in the open. And if you sow again in October, do it where you can throw a sheet over it. Quick one before number 4. I put all of this, the frost math, the 5 crops, the varieties, and the 2 versions for each climate on one free September cheat sheet. First link in the description. Print it, stick it on the seed box. Back to the beds. Number 4 is the one people skip because they think they don't like turnips, and I'm going to fix that in one sentence. You're growing 2 crops in one hole. Turnip greens. Tennessee has them at 30 to 40 days, planted August 1st, clear through September 30th. The roots, 40 to 65 days, window to September 15th. So you eat the tops in a month and the bottoms in 2. Varieties: purple top white globe for roots, Tokyo hybrid if you like them small and sweet, and 7 top if all you want is greens. 3 inches apart for roots. And this is the crop where that Clemson line about frost stops being a saying. A turnip green in September is a little peppery. The same leaf after a frost is sweet because the plant turns starch to sugar to keep from freezing. Alright, so here's where things get easy. Shorter, cooler summers, sow now for greens, and you'll still make small roots before your ground locks up. And the greens shrug off the frost. Longer, hotter summers, you've got the longest window of anything on this list. Sow through the end of September, and you'll pull roots in November. Sow them a little thick, then eat the thinnings as your first greens, which, looking back, is either the laziest thing I do in the garden or the smartest. Number 5 is garlic, and it's different from the other 4 because you plant it now and you don't eat it until next summer. That's exactly why it belongs on this list. It's the one September job that pays you in July. The Extension Services agree on the timing and disagree on the exact week, so listen for your climate. Penn State says a good 3 weeks before the ground freezes. Minnesota says 1 or 2 weeks after the first killing frost. Georgia's agent has onion sets going in October, and garlic runs on the same calendar down there. Depth and spacing. Oregon State's number is 2 inches deep, 2 to 4 inches apart, rows 10 to 14 inches. Minnesota does double rows 6 inches apart. I split the difference and go 2 inches deep, 4 to 6 inches apart, and I've never had a bad year doing it. Pointy end up, papery skin on, and mulch it. Shorter, cooler summers, you're a hardneck climate, plant it late September into October, right after your first killing frost, like Minnesota says. Longer, hotter summers, soft neck, and October is your month. So this September, your job is just ordering the seed garlic before it sells out, because it does, and somehow it gets better. Garlic asks for nothing all winter. It's the only crop I plant and forget on purpose. Within about 9 months, you'll understand exactly what this September afternoon was worth, and it's the reason I never let a bed sit empty in the fall. One bonus, and it comes with a warning label. Kale and collards are the kings of the frost garden. Tennessee says they withstand considerable frost and keep producing for weeks past it. But their planting window closes September 1st on the Tennessee table. Kale at 55 to 65 days, collards 65 to 75, and Iowa wants kale in by early August. So here's the honest call. Shorter, cooler summers, seed is too late, buy transplants this week and you'll still eat kale in November. Longer, hotter summers, transplants in early September, varieties Vates and Dwarf Blue Curled for kale, Georgia and Vates for collards, 12 to 15 inches apart, and they'll feed you into winter. The clock was already ticking on those two. You just couldn't hear it in August. Here's the list I promised, straight off the extension tables so you can order tonight. Radish, Cherry Bell, White Icicle, Champion, Spinach, Bloomsdale Long Standing, Thai, Melody, Leaf Lettuce, Black Seeded Simpson, Red Sails, Salad Bowl, Turnips, Purple Top White Globe, Tokyo Hybrid, and Seven Top for greens. Garlic, hard neck if you get real winter, soft neck if you don't. Every one of those runs on the same clock. Days to maturity, plus 10, counted back from your frost date, and the hardy ones run right past it. As of this week, the beds behind me have radishes and spinach in, and the garlic is on order. That's where things stand. The video on the screen now is the one I'd watch next. It's what to do to your raised bed soil before winter so it isn't dead by spring. And it starts on the bed I just cleared.